Happy New Year's, everyone. I hope you all had a fantastic holiday. And to kick things off this year, we're doing my annual State of Valorant 2024. In my opinion, Valorant is unquestionably the best first person shooter on the market from a user experience standpoint overall. I say this because whether you are a casual first person shooter fan who just wants to log on, play some games, have fun, or you're someone who wants to be a competitive person and you want to do ranked, or even more so, if you want to be a professional player, there is definitely something for you here in Valorant in 2024. So for the casuals, you have Swift Play, you have Unranked, you have the gimmick modes like Spike Rush and Escalation, you have Team Deathmatch. So if you don't care, you just want to have some fun, there is something for you. If you are an aspiring pro player, you're highly competitive, not only does the game have its ranked mode, but they have its premier mode, an in-game means to a path to professional play. That's right. No outside sourcing required. You join Premier, join a team, kick some ass, and if you're good enough, you could very well turn pro through this mode built within the game. Obviously, this is a free-to-play game. And as a free-to-play game, it costs you nothing to log on and play the game. But bear in mind, there are cosmetics, and the cosmetics themselves are very, very pricey. However, they are completely optional and have no gameplay implications. So if you choose not to buy them, you're not missing out on much other than to look cool with cool guns. The other thing is, the only thing that I would have an issue with personally is that the new agents have one of two options. You can either grind the game to unlock a new agent when an agent comes out, or spend $10 to expedite that process and instantly unlock an agent. Like any other game that's hero-based shooter, this is always controversial because if that new character is meta and you don't have it, you are at an advantage. So that is the only issue I would say with the game, but it's not a big one. And if you are only a casual player, it's no big deal for you. As for the overall balance of Valorant, I mean, it's probably the most balanced game on the market, period. It doesn't matter. If you are an average player, any character is viable to you. It doesn't matter what map, doesn't matter what agent you want to play as. If you are an average player, everyone is viable. That's how good the balance is. Yes, at the highest tiers, there's a meta. There will always be a meta at the highest tiers. But for us regular folk, I mean, you can pick Sage, you can pick Fade, you can pick Jet, you can pick Raze, you can pick Phoenix, pick whoever you like. It doesn't really matter as everybody is viable for the average player. Lastly, and the one thing I do want to touch on as to why I feel that Valorant is the best game of 2024 from a player standpoint is the anti-cheat. Yes, some people do have the personal preference. They don't like the fact that the anti-cheat is kernel level, and therefore it is quite intrusive. I do not disagree with these statements. However, it is the price to pay to have a near cheat-free experience. I've been playing this game steady since launch, and I can't remember the last time I ran into a cheater. And when cheaters do get detected, Riot has a hardware ban philosophy. So for most people who just want to cheat for nonsense, they basically don't bother because if they get caught, they can't play the game entirely. So cheaters is few and far between in this game when you compare the amount of cheaters in Valorant versus the amount of cheaters in any other first-person shooter, whether it's Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, the newly released Finals. I mean, no game's anti-cheat is better than Valorant in terms of the first-person shooter space. And to me, as a player, as an everyday player, as an above average Joe, just like everybody else, let me tell you, it's a good feeling that I can log on to Valorant and not really experience any cheaters, because we all know cheaters, they suck. So that is a big positive. Other than the fact that it is an intrusive anti-cheat, I do have friends who refuse to play Valorant because it's kernel level, and I respect it, but it's the price to pay for us to not have cheaters in our games. Lastly, the system requirements. Valorant is not a demanding game. As you can see by the visuals, it is not a demanding game. Pretty much a toaster can run this game, so it is very accessible to anyone. The only real reason, in my opinion, for anyone to not play Valorant is either you have that personal stance against kernel level anti-cheat, or it's just not your cup of tea. Maybe you're an RPG fan, maybe you're a fighting fan, you just don't care for shooters, fine. Maybe you don't like the hero aspect of the shooters and you prefer the realism of like Counter-Strike. Again, I get it. But if you are a fan of first-person shooters, be it casual or competitive, and you've never played Valorant, you're missing out. This, to me, is the best shooter on the market, the best shooter that you can play in 2024 from a user experience. It's not going anywhere. It has a very healthy esports scene, high player count. I mean, it's got everything you could possibly want in a competitive first-person shooter. But overall, if you haven't played it yet, give it a shot. If you have and it's just not your cup of tea, it is what it is. I respect it. But in my opinion, Valorant is the best first-person shooter to play in 2024. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.